Increasing free testosterone on TRT and steroids. I'm Dr. Tony Hughes, this is Coach Trevor. We're at a downtown gym in Costa Rica, and we just got the blood work back from one of our Friends of Freedom, because we review a lot of blood work to see how some experiments go with all the research compounds that we do. And one of our Friends of Freedom is on 600 milligrams of testosterone per week. 300 milligrams twice per week, cypionate. And his free testosterone's only in the low 40s. Total testosterone was only 1,500, which also seems very low. But let's just assume, for the sake of this video, that a lot of people out there are taking a lot of testosterone, and yet they're not getting a lot of free testosterone. Because when you inject testosterone, or your own natural testosterone production is occurring, it gets eaten up by something called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. And if the sex hormone binding globulin bonds with the testosterone in your bloodstream, it is useless. It might as well not even be in your bloodstream. What really matters is the amount of free testosterone, because that's what can actually bind to your androgen receptors and do all the wonderful things that testosterone replacement therapy, hormone replacement therapy, and testosterone for even steroid cycles can do. So a lot of people out there are running high testosterone dosage cycles, or even low cycles in TRT, but they're not getting the maximal benefit. Trevor, what can someone do, and don't do this without doctor's supervision and direction, this is just for you to talk to your doctor about. What can someone consider to increase their free testosterone and lower their SHBG?
Well, first of all, the more testosterone you run, the more side effects you have, because it converts into other things. And SHBG is one of the things that does this. And the other one is estrogen. That's another big one. And plus, it does help with progesterone. So when you take things that are progesterone based, they actually increase prolactin too. So those are three different reasons and three mechanisms of actions that it'll actually go through. So by doing this, the more you take, the worse it's going to be. That's why I say it's a very dirty drug when you think of it. Now, to the SHBG, one of the best things around it, I've had a...
Wait, don't forget what you're going to say. Another thing that happens is the longer that someone's on testosterone, the lower their free test becomes, the higher their SHBG becomes, because your body is fighting you. You're on a testosterone cycle and it's working less. It might not be because you've desensitized the testosterone. It might be because your free testosterone is dropping as your SHBG is increasing, and you're converting more to estrogen and other things you don't want it to convert to, and getting less of the actual active testosterone as time goes by.
It's the same. You with your aromatase enzymes, which usually are around the belly fat, you will start having more and more and more. Then the more fat that starts accumulating, the more aromatase enzymes. So it's a long cycle that just keeps happening over time.
Trevor really hates high-dose testosterone cycles. See, one of the reasons why he runs very low testosterone and adds anabolics on top of it, even SARMs.
And that being said, the best way around it is something like a proviron or a masterone, and these DHT compounds will actually free up a ton of testosterone. The other one being like an aromatase inhibitor, such as a Arimidex. I have a few clients that go through this, and even myself, it's an easy fix. But I've had a client that just got on TRT for the first time in his life. He was usually a chunkier guy when he was younger, and actually two of them. One was chunkier, one was just a normal middle-aged guy. Both of them had a free testosterone around 12, and they had gone up to as high as 400 milligrams every 7 to 10 days, roughly. I think it was 8, from their doctor. It actually got as high as 400 milligrams because they couldn't get their free testosterone up, and the doctors are kind of clueless. So instead of adding something else, they were doing this, and I had recommended that he talk to his doctor and try and get the prescription and get, it was called a Arimidex, an anastrozole. They gave him 2 milligrams a week. So what we did was space the 2 milligrams into 4.5 milligram dosing spread throughout the week. And he did this, and what the client, his total his free testosterone increased. It actually climbed from, I think it was 13 or so, to in the high 40s. And that's on 400 milligrams of testosterone. The other client was also on 400 mgs, but I've seen the problem on paper very fast. And what was happening was the SHBG was the same exact thing. We put him on a dose of proviron at 50 milligrams a day, and his shot up, I can't remember the number, it was under 10. He's under 10 at 400 mgs of testosterone. Put him on 50 milligrams a day because it's just for therapy, and we lowered his testosterone a little bit, and his free testosterone climbed to 50-something. So we went from 400, lowered his testosterone, added the proviron, and he went up on his free testosterone.
for all those viewers out there who are on TRT prescribed by your doctor, and your doctor's only giving you 250 to 200 milligrams of testosterone per week, sounds like Proviron or Masterone, and also obviously limiting the conversion to estrogen with an aromatase inhibitor like aromasin, exemestane, arimidex, or anastrozole is a good way to maximize a lower dosage of testosterone, so less of it's converting to other things we don't want it to really convert to.
Think of the two side effects. So if you are a heavier set person with more body fat than average, or have some extra body fat, you're going to want to look into more of the arimidex side, the more aromatase inhibiting drugs to help that. And typically, now if you were having side effects, you had very little body fat, then that person's most likely experiencing an SHBG problem. So that's how you kind of judge. You can make a judgment by yourself, but still go through the doctor, do your blood work, and find out. Your blood work will show you exactly what's happening, and then you'll know exactly what to do at that point.
Be swole, my friends of freedom, pioneers of human evolution.